ચર્ચા કર્યા વગર. Chapter 3 of Sale of Goods Act is a very important chapter. Is talking about transfer of property. Transfer of property means what we call transfer of ownership. Very important chapter. And let's start. Friends, if we can say there is any backbone of contract of sale of goods, then the backbone of contract of sale of goods is transfer of ownership. If we analyze the definition of contract of sale, it is very clear that contract of sale is a contract whereby seller transfers or agrees to transfer property in goods, ownership in goods, property in goods, ownership in goods to the buyer for a price. And so the most important element of contract of sale is transfer of ownership. And actually the contract of sale, as over here mentioned very properly, the contract of sale is basically to be executed in a 3 parts. Number 1, first of all, there will be a transfer of properly, but property in the goods. Number 2, then there may be transfer of possession. And number 3, then there will be a passing of risk. There are 3 stages in the performance of contract of sale of goods. But most important stage is transfer of property in goods. First of all, there will be transfer of property, then there will be delivery, but do not get confused that these stages are not thumb rule. That means the contract of sale must be executed in this chronology only. It's not like that. But this is generally the phenomenon that there will be first of all the transfer of property, then transfer of possession, that is delivery, and the whole risks shall be passed on. But I tell you, transfer of property is extremely important. Do you know why? Transfer of property, because both are different. See, property, that is ownership is one and possession is one. ઘણા લોકોને હજી કન્ફ્યુઝન હોય છે. કદાચ ઘણીવાર તો ફાઉન્ડેશન ક્લિયર થઈ જાય પછી પણ ઈ ખબર ન હોય કે પ્રોપર્ટી અને પોઝેશન બે અલગ વસ્તુ છે. Sale takes place when the possession of goods shifts to buyer. Then it's absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong concept. Friends, sale takes place when property in goods, ownership in goods transfers from seller to buyer. If I hand over my scooter to a garage mechanic for the purpose of repairing, I hand over the possession, not the property. If I warehouse the goods owned by me with a warehouse keeper, I hand over delivery or possession, not the property. Ownership remains with me. If I hand over my car to my driver, I hand over only possession. Ownership remains with me. समझो, मालिकी અને કબજો ગુજરાતીમાં જેને કહીએ આપણે, हिंदी में अगर हम बोले तो वस्तु की मालिकी और वस्तु का कब्जा, वो दोनों अलग हैं. जो मालिकी हक होता है वो कब्जे से अलग होता है. जब हम गैरेज मैकेनिक को अपनी कार सौंपते हैं तो हम उसे कब्जा सौंपते हैं. मालिकी हक अपने पास ही पड़ा रहता है. जब हम वेयरहाउस कीपर को अपना कोई गुड्स स्टोर करने के लिए उसे हैंड ओवर करते हैं, तब हम उसे गुड्स का सिर्फ कब्जा ही सौंपते हैं. अंडरस्टैंड? गुड्स का मालिकी हक तो हमारे पास ही रहता है. बहुत ही समझने वाली और सोचने वाली बात है. Whenever we hand over the goods to warehouse keeper, we hand over only possession, not the property. And so property and possession both are different. Both are different. When we hand over the possession of our car to our driver, we hand over only possession. जब हम हमारी कार अपने ड्राइवर को सौंपते हैं तो सिर्फ कार का कब्जा सौंपते हैं. कार के मालिक तो हम ही रहते हैं. अगर वो कार कोई इलीगल एक्टिविटी में पकड़ी गई तो पुलिस वाले तो हमको ही ले जाएंगे. वो ड्राइवर को कुछ नहीं करेंगे. ड्राइवर को, अगर ड्राइवर सीधा इन्वॉल्व हो तो ठीक है, अदरवाइज तो वो जवाबदारी तो किसकी बनती है? भाई, कार का मालिक कौन है? वो आरटीओ में जाएंगे और नंबर प्लेट देखकर ढूंढ निकालेंगे कि जिगर पोपट है कार का मालिक, तो उठा लेंगे उसको. समझिए आप, chronology समझिए please. And so do remember that property and possession both are different. See, this is the second paragraph which may give some focus, which may focus on this point. If we analyze over here, transfer of property in goods from seller to the buyer is the main object of contract of sale. जो हूं तुमने यह बात मैं आपको कई बार बता चुका हूं कि जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल होता है उसकी नींव क्या होती है, उसकी नींव की हड्डी है ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी, ट्रांसफर ऑफ ओनरशिप. ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी और ट्रांसफर ऑफ ओनरशिप इज द बैकबोन ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल. The term property in goods must be distinguished from the possession of goods. Property in goods means the ownership of goods, whereas possession of goods refers to the custody of goods. Property in goods माने goods का पूरा मालिकी हक, whereas possession of goods क्या बोलते हैं, goods किसके कब्जे में है वो बोलते हैं. जिसके पास goods का कब्जा होता है वो goods का मालिक हो ही ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. An article may belong to A although it may not be in his possession. B may be in possession of that article although he is not the owner. Say A कार का मालिक है और B उसका ड्राइवर है, तो जो आर्टिकल है, जो कार है, may be belonging to A but it may not be in his possession because कार ज्यादातर ड्राइवर के पास ही रहती है, B के पास. And B may be in the possession of the car although he is not the owner. It is important to know. Now see, very important. Why? What is the importance of knowing the fact that who is the owner of goods? आज आप ये पहला पार्ट बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से पढ़ लीजिए मेरे दोस्तों. It is important to know the precise moment of time at which the property in goods passes to the seller to buyer. क्यों हमें ये जानना जरूरी है कि किस समय कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल में प्रॉपर्टी सेलर के पास से बायर के पास चली गई. Why we need to know exactly the point of time when the property in goods passed on from seller to buyer? Because before passing of the property, the seller was the owner. But as and when the property has passed on from seller to buyer, the buyer has become the owner. Why we need to know the exact point of time when the property in goods passed on from seller to buyer? क्यों ये हमें जानना है कि किस समय जो गुड्स का मालिकी हक है वो सेलर से हटकर बायर में चला गया? वो समय बिंदु हमें जानना है. वो समय बिंदु क्यों हमें जानना है? Why we need to know? There are answers. Understand the question, my friends. Why we need to know the exact point of time when the property of goods has passed from seller to buyer? There are some reasons. ये हमें क्यों जानना है कि तकरीबन और एग्जैक्टली किस समय बिंदु पर गुड्स का जो मालिकी हक है वो सेलर से बायर के पास चला गया. 4 reasons. Understand now, very, very important. The reason why we need to know the exact point of time. The first and foremost reason is this. Risk follows the ownership. ये हमें इसलिए जानना जरूरी है कि जो ओनर ऑफ गुड्स होता है वही गुड्स का पूरा रिस्क बेयर करता है. गुड्स उसके पोजेशन में हो या ना हो, अगर गुड्स का डिस्ट्रक्शन हो गया, अगर नाश हो गया गुड्स का, तो जो पूरा उसका नुकसान है वो कौन बेयर करेगा? गुड्स का ओनर ही बेयर करेगा. तो सेल ऑफ गुड्स, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल ऑफ गुड्स में हमें ये जानना जरूरी है कि जब गुड्स का डिस्ट्रक्शन हुआ तब ओनरशिप सेलर के पास से बायर के पास चली गई थी. अगर हाँ, तो even if goods are not in the possession of the buyer, understand, at the time of destruction and loss of goods, we need to know exactly that when the ownership passed on from seller to buyer. Why we need to know the exact point of time when ownership passed on from seller to buyer? What is the reason? The reason number 1, because risk follows the ownership. Friends, we need to know precisely that the point of time when the ownership in goods, the property in goods has passed on from seller to buyer, because of the fact that the owner shall bear the risk. The risk of destruction, risk of loss of goods shall be borne by the owner. And so in every contract of sale, we need to determine the exact point of time when the ownership in goods passed from seller to buyer. Because if the ownership in goods had already been passed from seller to buyer, and if the goods are lost or destroyed, then even if the goods are not in the possession of the buyer, but the risk of loss or risk of destruction will be completely borne by the buyer. Very, very important, understand. But if at the time when the goods are lost or destroyed, the ownership in goods had not been passed from seller to buyer, the ownership still remains with the seller, and goods are lost or destroyed, then even if the goods are in possession of the buyer, even if the goods are in the possession of the buyer at the time of loss or destruction, the complete damage, the complete loss shall have to be borne by the seller. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, समझिए आप लोग, जब गुड्स का लॉस और डिस्ट्रक्शन हो गया, तब अंडर द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल ओनरशिप बायर के पास चली गई थी, देन बायर पूरा नुकसान जो है वो अपने आप ले लेगा, अपने ऊपर ले लेगा, और उसको पूरा नुकसान अपने ऊपर लेना पड़ेगा। सेलर इसमें कुछ भी उसकी मदद नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि जब लॉस और डिस्ट्रक्शन हुआ तब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल के अंडर ओनरशिप जो है वो सेलर के पास से हटकर बायर के पास चली गई थी, तो बायर को ही पूरा लॉस बेयर करना पड़ेगा। इसमें यह भी हो सकता है कि उस समय पोजेशन, जो गुड्स का पूरा कब्जा है वो अभी भी सेलर के पास है, लेकिन ओनरशिप जो बायर के पास थी और गुड्स का कब्जा सेलर के पास था, वहां पे गुड्स का डिस्ट्रक्शन हुआ, फिर भी उसका पूरा नुकसान बायर को ही बेयर करना पड़ेगा। बिकॉज रिस्क ऑलवेज फॉलोज द ओनरशिप, रिस्क ऑलवेज सेल्स इन द सेम बोट इन विच ओनरशिप सेल्स। रिस्क एंड ओनरशिप, यू नो, इट्स लाइक साथ जिएंगे साथ मरेंगे, ज्यादातर ऐसा ही होता है। छोड़ेंगे ना हम तेरा साथ हो साथी मरते दम तक, मरते दम नहीं 7 जन्म तक, 7 जन्म नहीं जन्म जन्म तक, छोड़ेंगे ना हम तेरा साथ वो साथी मरते दम तक। ये रिस्क बोल रहा है ओनरशिप को, और ड्यूएट सॉन्ग है तो ओनरशिप भी सामने बोल रही है रिस्क को। यही इट मींस दोनों साथ ही रहेंगे, रिस्क और ओनरशिप। यह बात यह कहना चाहती है कि जो ओनर है उसे ही रिस्क बेयर करना पड़ेगा। रिस्क कौन सा? तो रिस्क ऑफ डिस्ट्रक्शन, रिस्क ऑफ लॉस, or risk of losing the goods, or any damn risk attached with the goods shall have to be borne by the owner, and the owner. I tell you, in English we can use this sentence, that it's owner's honor to bear the risk. So owner will have to bear the risk, no one else other than owner shall bear the risk. And that's why we need to determine that when exactly the ownership in goods passed on from seller to buyer, because the risk of loss of goods shall have to be borne by the owner, and owner. I hope that all of you have got the idea, but let us have a quick reading of this particular point one by one, along with example. Please analyze. Risk follows ownership. You know, this is the answer of the question, that why we need to determine the exact point of time under the contract of sale, why we need to determine the exact point of time when ownership shifted from seller to buyer. हमें कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल में यह क्यों नक्की करना पड़ता है कि एग्जैक्टली किस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे ओनरशिप सेलर के पास से बायर के पास चली गई। यह पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, यह समय बिंदु हमें क्यों नक्की करना पड़ता है? तो उसका आंसर नंबर 1 है, रिस्क फॉलोज द ओनरशिप अनलेस अदरवाइज अग्रीड। अनलेस अदरवाइज अग्रीड, यह वर्ड्स भी मार्क कीजिए। ज्यादातर ओनर ही रिस्क बेयर करते हैं, लेकिन अगर वो उसके विरुद्ध का कुछ अग्रीमेंट करे, अनलेस अदरवाइज अग्रीड मींस उसके विरुद्ध कुछ अग्रीमेंट करे, तो उससे अलग भी हो सकता है, वो हम बाद में देखेंगे। बट यहां कहा गया है कि अनलेस अदरवाइज अग्रीड, रिस्क फॉलोज ओनरशिप वेदर डिलीवरी हैज बीन मेड और नॉट, और वेदर प्राइस हैज बीन पेड और नॉट। वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सेंटेंस। We need to check only one thing, that whether the ownership in goods has passed on has been passed on from seller to buyer or not. And ownership, passing of ownership has nothing to do with delivery of goods or payment of price. Understand? ओनरशिप सेलर से बायर के पास चली जाएगी, अभी तक सेलर ने गुड्स डिलीवर किया हो या ना किया हो, अभी तक बायर ने प्राइस पे की हो या ना की हो, लेकिन सर्टेन सर्कमस्टेंसेस में ओनरशिप जो है वो शिफ्ट हो जाएगी. शिफ्टिंग ऑफ ओनरशिप इज नॉट डिपेंडेंट ऑन द फैक्ट that whether the seller has delivered the goods or not, or whether the buyer has paid price or not. Means shifting of ownership or transfer of ownership has nothing to do with delivery of goods or with a payment of price. Even if delivery has not been made by the seller to buyer, even if price has not been paid by buyer to seller, still under the contract of sale, at a definite point of time, the ownership, the property shall be easily shifted from seller to buyer. So first sentence is very important. Unless otherwise agreed, risk follows ownership, whether delivery has been made or not, and whether price has been paid or not. Thus, the risk of loss as a rule lies on the owner. Please understand, the risk of loss as a rule lies on the owner. Very important sentence. Who will bear the risk of loss? Owner. अगर गुड्स को कुछ हो गया तो उसका नुकसान कौन बेयर करेगा? उसका मालिक. तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल में यह तय करना अत्यंत जरूरी हो जाता है कि ओनरशिप, उसका मालिकी हक कब शिफ्ट हुआ, बायर के ऊपर कब आ गया, सेलर से बायर पर ओनरशिप कब ट्रांसफर हुई. क्योंकि रिस्क ऑफ लॉस एज ए रूल लाइज ऑन द ओनर. अगर सेलर के पास ही है ओनरशिप और गुड्स डिस्ट्रॉय हो गया तो सेलर रिस्क बेयर करेगा. अगर एट द टाइम ऑफ डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ गुड्स बायर के पास है ओनरशिप तो बायर रिस्क बेयर करेगा. तो इस तरह से हमें याद रखना है. सेक्शन 26 प्रोवाइड्स इन दिस रिगार्ड that unless otherwise agreed, the goods remain at the seller's risk until the property therein is transferred to the buyer. But where the property therein is transferred to the buyer, the goods are at the buyer's risk, whether delivery has been made or not and whether price has been paid or not. But if delivery has been delayed, very important point, friends, now please mark this point. Please mark. But if delivery has been delayed through the fault of either buyer or the seller, the goods are at the risk of the party at fault. The risk and otherwise the risk and property go together. As I told you, the risk and property sail in the same boat. Risk says to property that छोड़ेंगे न हम तेरा साथ हो साथी मरते दम तक. तो यही तो है भैया रिस्क. आपको भी अगर कोई ऐसा गीत याद आ रहा हो तो आप अपने आप गुनगुना सकते हैं. Risk and ownership both will sail in the same boat. Risk and ownership both are made for each other. Risk and ownership shall live together and shall die together. Because both are, generally going together. So it's like that only. And that's why, but here one very important sentence that we learned in between. If you analyze here, if I tell you the exact sentence, then this one. Please mark this sentence. Atlu jo khali, please. But if delivery has been delayed through the fault of either buyer or seller, then the goods are at the risk of party at fault. Even if ownership has been transferred. Say for example, in our case, we can have an example that particularly our Kishore Bhai has agreed to sell 1,000 bales of sugar to Jusuf Bhai. At the time when contract took place, the goods were uncertain. But later on, from Jusuf Bhai's place, Rafiq Bhatia came to Kishore Bhai's godown and he has ascertained 1,000 bales. The moment the ascertainment takes place, the property in goods passes from seller to buyer. And that's why now the ownership of the goods is lying with the Jusuf Bhai. Is lying with the Jusuf Bhai. Now in this case, the delivery of goods was to take place on 30th April. But Kishore Bhai fails to deliver because of his own fault. Kishore Bhai fails to deliver goods on 30th April. And he delayed in making delivery. In the meanwhile, on 5th May, Still, the Kishore Bhai could not deliver those 1,000 bales, and on 5th May, there were showers in Rajkot. There was rain in Rajkot, and the 1,000 bales belonging to Jusuf Bhai was stored in the open ground by believing that in May there can never be a rain. And that 1,000 bales were absolutely perished. That 1,000 bales were absolutely of no use. Here, even if the ownership, understand friends, here, even if the ownership at that time on 5th May lies with Jusuf Bhai, because the moment Rafiq Bhatia has ascertained goods on some 25th April or so, the ownership has been passed on from Kishore Bhai to Jusuf Bhai. Kishore Bhai was supposed to deliver the goods on 30th April, but because of his fault, he could not make delivery. And in the meanwhile, because of his negligence, on 5th May, because of rain, the goods were absolutely perished. Then here, even if the ownership is lying with the Jusuf Bhai, the buyer, seller will have to bear the risk, because here, because of the fault of seller, the goods were destroyed. And so the party at fault shall have to bear the risk. My friends, please. But here, if we just slightly change this particular example, that on 1st of April 2020, Kishore Bhai put a proposal to Jusuf Bhai that I would like to sell 1,000 bales of sugar to you for rupees 10 lakhs. As of now, in my godown, there are 1 lakh bales. So it is a contract for sale of unascertained goods. Jusuf Bhai accepts that, okay, I am ready. And my person will come and ascertain goods on 25th May. On 25th May, Rafiq Tiny, an employee of Jusuf Bhai, comes to Rajkot and ascertains the goods. The moment ascertainment takes place, the property in goods passes from seller to buyer. Okay. Here, as per the contract, Jusuf Bhai is supposed to take delivery on 30th April by coming to Rajkot, and from the godown at Lati plot, Jusuf Bhai is supposed to take the delivery. Jusuf Bhai fails to take delivery on 30th April. That means he could not acquire the goods on 30th April. There is a fire in the godown on 5th May. There is a fire in the godown on 5th May. Then here, Jusuf Bhai shall bear the risk. But here, I could not make the proper example in a way. Here, Jusuf Bhai will bear the risk, because what happened exactly? The property in goods is also with Jusuf Bhai, because on 25th April, the Jusuf Bhai has already done the ascertainment. So in this case, even the property is with Jusuf Bhai, and Jusuf Bhai is in fault because he could not take delivery in time. And that's why the Jusuf Bhai shall bear the risk even if he is an owner. So it is not an exception. But the first example which I told you, that in this case, first of all, Kishore Bhai has agreed to sell goods, has agreed to sell 1,000 bales of sugar to Jusuf Bhai for 10 lakhs, 1st April. Agreement took place. On 25th April, Jusuf Bhai's person comes and ascertains the goods. The moment he ascertains the goods, the property in goods passes from seller to buyer. Now buyer is the owner. Now who is the owner? Buyer is the owner. And seller is supposed to deliver on 30th April, and seller commits a default. He cannot deliver on 30th April. He cannot deliver on 30th April, understand? He makes delay in delivery. And on 5th of May, there is a fire in the godown and all bales are destroyed. Then even if the owner is Jusuf Bhai, the seller Kishore Bhai shall have to bear the risk. This is the point which I wanted to convey. I hope that all of you have got it properly. समझाई से भाई बताने, समझ आ रहा है सबको? तो मुझे चैट रूम में आके बताइए. बीच बीच में मुझे आपको पूछना पड़ेगा थोड़ा. तो आपको पता चल रहा है, आप तकरीबन आके मुझे बता सकते हैं कि यह पॉइंट जो है, यह स्पेसिफिक सेंटेंस जो है, आपको पता चला सबको? वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. चलो, रोहन राठौड़ नहीं है आज? रोहन राठौड़, ओके, गुड. ओहो, क्या बात है, वेदांत जी आए आज तो. बहुत बढ़िया, आप आए, बाहर आई वेदांत जी. बहुत बढ़िया भैया. नील जी को भी बोलिए एक दिन आ जाए तो हम धन्य धन्य हो जाएंगे, कृतकृत्य हो जाएंगे. यस, रोहन भी है ना. गुड गुड. नेहा मालवी, raise the hand. Neha Malvi, you can ask question to me on phone, okay? तो चलो, तो यहां जो क्या है, ये जो एग्जाम्पल दिया गया है बहुत ही बढ़िया एग्जाम्पल है ये, आप देखिए। या गुड, चलो, थैंक यू ऑल एंड प्लीज लुक एट दिस एग्जाम्पल। मैं ये पॉइंट डिस्कस कर रहा हूं कि रिस्क ऑलवेज फॉलोज ओनरशिप एंड व्हाई वी नीड टू डिटरमाइन द एग्जैक्ट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम व्हेन द प्रॉपर्टी इन गुड्स पास्ड ऑन फ्रॉम सेलर टू बायर। सो यही चल रहा है अभी। तो देखिए, प्लीज थोड़ी झड़प करनी पड़ेगी मुझे अब, क्योंकि 8 मिनट ही बची है। B contracts to purchase 30 tons of apple juice from S. S crushes the apples, puts juice in casks, and keep them ready for delivery. B, however, delays to take the delivery and the juice goes putrid, juice bagdi gaya, and has to be thrown away. B is liable to pay the price. तो जो भी तकरीबन जो भी डिफॉल्ट करेगा डिलीवरी में, उसे भी लॉस बेयर करना पड़ेगा। वहां यह नहीं देखा जाएगा कि ओनर कौन है। ओनर जो भी हो, जिसने डिफॉल्ट किया और उस डिफॉल्ट की वजह से अगर गुड्स को कोई नुकसान हुआ, तो जिसने डिफॉल्ट किया उसे ही बेयर करना पड़ेगा। उस समय हम यह नहीं देखेंगे कि ओनरशिप किसके पास है। नाउ लेट अस एनालाइज द सेकंड पॉइंट। पॉइंट 2, एक्शन अगेंस्ट थर्ड पार्टी। तो यह तो आप ऐसे ही समझ सकते हैं। क्या मैं बात कर रहा हूं? मैं ये बात कर रहा हूं कि क्यों हमें ये नक्की करना है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल में, हमें यह क्यों नक्की करना है कि ओनरशिप कब ट्रांसफर हुई। Why we need to determine the exact point of time when ownership transferred? Because if goods gets destroyed because of the action of the third party, then owner will take action against the third party. अगर से फॉर एग्जांपल ट्रांसपोर्टर की वजह से गुड्स डिस्ट्रॉय हो गया, देन ट्रांसपोर्टर के सामने एक्शन कौन लेगा कोर्ट में जाके? तो एक्शन जो है वो ट्रांसपोर्टर के सामने जो एक्शन है वो कौन लेगा? ट्रांसपोर्टर के सामने एक्शन ओनर लेगा। और इसीलिए अगर किसी भी वेयरहाउस में गुड्स रखा गया और वेयरहाउस कीपर के नेग्लिजेंस की वजह से गुड्स डिस्ट्रॉय हो गया, तो उसके सामने एक्शन कौन लेगा? तो उस समय जो गुड्स का ओनर है वह वेयरहाउस कीपर के सामने एक्शन लेगा। वेयरहाउस कीपर को कोर्ट में घसीट के ले जाएगा और उसके सामने डैमेज कंपेंसेशन का सूट फाइल करेगा। तो समटाइम्स ऐसा होता है कि बायर और सेलर दोनों जब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करे, तब उस समय ऐसा होता है कि गुड्स जो है वो किसी थर्ड पार्टी के पास हो जब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ तब, और ओनरशिप शिफ्ट हो गई सेलर से बायर के पास, और बायर ओनर हो गया और गुड्स अभी भी से वेयरहाउस कीपर के पास ही है, और वेयरहाउस कीपर की नेग्लिजेंस की वजह से गुड्स जो है वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाता है। तो उसका वेयरहाउस कीपर के सामने कोर्ट में एक्शन कौन लेगा? अभी बायर लेगा, क्योंकि ओनरशिप बायर के पास चली गई। सो एक्शन अगेंस्ट थर्ड पार्टी शैल बी इनिशिएटेड बाय द करंट ओनर। फिर हमें यह भी नक्की करना पड़ेगा कि इंसॉल्वेंसी ऑफ सेलर और बायर, उस समय भी यह नक्की करना जरूरी है कि कौन ओनर है फ्रेंड्स। तो ऐसा करते हैं कि यह 2 पॉइंट जो है वो मैं कल के लिए छोड़ देता हूं, अभी आप एक बार पढ़ लीजिएगा अच्छी तरह से। तो अभी आज जो है मैंने ये बेस बना दिया है तकरीबन पूरा। अब पॉइंट 3 और पॉइंट 4 में कल ही डिस्कस कर पाऊंगा, जो है इंसॉल्वेंसी ऑफ सेलर एंड बायर एंड सूट फॉर प्राइस। आप समझ सकते हैं जिसने 4th चैप्टर पढ़ा है अच्छी तरह से, कि सेलर जो है वो बायर के सामने सूट फॉर प्राइस, अगर बायर प्राइस पे करने में निष्फल जाए तो सेलर बायर के सामने सूट फॉर प्राइस तभी फाइल कर सकता है जब ओनरशिप बायर के पास चली गई हो। अदरवाइज इफ ओनरशिप इज विद द सेलर, सेलर कैन ओनली sue द बायर फॉर सूट फॉर डैमेजेस। बट अगर ओनरशिप बायर के पास चली गई हो और बायर प्राइस पे करने में फेल हो जाए, तो सेलर सूट फॉर प्राइस फाइल कर सकता है। अब एक जो यह पॉइंट बचा है इंसॉल्वेंसी ऑफ सेलर और बायर, वो मैं कल लूंगा। आज के लिए इतना काफी। ये फर्स्ट पॉइंट में आपको सबको विनती करता हूं कि अच्छी तरह से पढ़ना, क्योंकि यह जो पॉइंट है उसके ऊपर ही पूरा चैप्टर निर्भर है। तो कल हम ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी इन स्पेसिफिक गुड्स, ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी इन अनअसर्टेन गुड्स वाला जो मामला है वो निपटाने की ट्राई करेंगे। कल हमारा एक ही एजेंडा है, लेकिन ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी इन केस ऑफ स्पेसिफिक गुड्स। अभी मैं आपको आज रात तक पूरा ये जो लिफलेट है 3rd और 4th चैप्टर का वो भेज देता हूं। कल आप जब बैठे यहाँ पे मीटिंग में, मैं मीटिंग का टाइम सुबह बता दूंगा आपको, कल जब आप बैठे मीटिंग में तब यह जो पोर्शन है ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी इन केस ऑफ स्पेसिफिक गुड्स वाला, वो आप पढ़ के आना तो आपको बढ़िया लगेगा। तो आज के लिए इतना काफी है फ्रेंड्स। ये फर्स्ट पॉइंट है। आई जस्ट हम्बली रिक्वेस्ट ऑल ऑफ यू टू just read this particular point, and tomorrow we shall continue with the another point, that is transfer of property in case of specific goods, how it takes place. So let's end today's meeting today, and goodbye to all of you. આવજો બધા. જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ.
આવજો.
આવજો. So welcoming all of you once again, and we were discussing about the fact that why it is very important to determine that exactly when the ownership of goods transferred from seller to buyer. What is the reason why we need to determine the fact that exactly at which point of time the ownership of goods has been shifted from seller to buyer. Why we need to determine exactly the fact that when the ownership has been shifted from seller to buyer. That is actually the agenda of today, which we are supposed to analyze. So let me start one after one, and I have explained you various reasons yesterday. Yesterday we have understood this point, these points rather, if I tell you that first of all, why we need to determine the exact point of time when ownership got shifted, because risk follows the ownership. We need to determine that who is the owner at a particular point of time, because if the goods are lost or destroyed, the owner shall bear the risk. So if the contract of sale was going on, then we need to check that, hey, whether the ownership got shifted. If yes, then buyer shall bear the risk of destruction. If no, then seller shall bear the risk of destruction. Then if under the contract of sale, if goods had been handed over to third party and goods have been lost because of the negligence of the third party, then we also need to determine that whether under the contract of sale ownership got shifted. If yes, then if once again, if the under a contract of sale, if the goods have been handed over by seller for the purpose of transportation to buyer, and if under a contract of sale ownership got shifted from seller to buyer, and if because of the negligence of the third party, if the goods are lost or destroyed, then in that case the buyer can take action against the third party, because at that time buyer was the owner. But if under the contract of sale, seller had handed over goods to third party with a view to transmit it to the buyer, and under the contract of sale, ownership has not yet shifted from seller to buyer, and because of negligence of third party, if the goods are lost or destroyed, then seller shall take action against the third party, because at present the owner is the seller. And then the next point is insolvency of the seller or the buyer. Now please analyze that if the contract of sale has been made and the ownership has already been shifted to buyer, and if seller becomes insolvent, understand, seller becomes insolvent, then buyer can claim the possession of goods from official receiver or assignee of the seller by arguing that, hey, the goods completely belongs to me because the ownership has been shifted under the Sale of Goods Act, and so kindly hand over the goods to me. Once again, if under a contract of sale, the contract takes place, the ownership shifts from seller to buyer, before delivering goods to buyer, if seller becomes insolvent, then buyer can claim the goods from the official receiver or assignee of the seller, because buyer is the owner. And so buyer can claim the goods from official receiver or assignee of the seller, because buyer is the owner. Please, friends, very, very important. And if on the other angle, if we analyze, under the contract of sale, the ownership has been shifted to buyer, and before paying price, if the buyer becomes insolvent before paying price, but ownership has been shifted to buyer, then official receiver or assignee of buyer, because here buyer has become insolvent, official receiver or assignee of buyer can claim goods from the seller by arguing that the ownership has already been shifted, and so we can definitely get the possession of goods from you because we are the owners on behalf of buyers, and seller does not have any sort of remedy rather than accepting the dividend payable by the official receiver or assignee of the buyer at the end of the day. So 2 points are very important. Please, Karan and all, please pay attention. First of all, once again, insolvency of the seller. Contract of sale takes place. Ownership gets shifted from seller to buyer, and seller becomes insolvent. Buyer can come to the seller's place and ask the official receiver or assignee of the seller that, hey, come on and hand over the goods to us because we are the owner. Friends, are you getting this? Because the ownership has already been shifted to buyer. No doubt, if buyer has not made the payment of price, then official receiver or assignee of the buyer, official receiver or assignee of the seller in this case, because seller has become insolvent. If buyer has not made payment of price, then official receiver or assignee of the seller can definitely recover the price. But the official receiver or assignee of the seller will have to hand over the goods to the buyer because the buyer has become the owner. Once again, contract of sale takes place, ownership gets shifted from seller to buyer. Before delivering goods to buyer, seller becomes insolvent. Before delivering goods to buyer, seller becomes insolvent. Official receiver or assignee of the buyer can, official receiver or assignee over here of the seller is liable to hand over the goods to the buyer. Once again, contract of sale takes place. Contract of sale takes place. Ownership in goods gets shifted from seller to buyer. Before delivery of goods to buyer, seller becomes insolvent. Here, buyer can come to seller's place. Now, seller is at Karan CG Balaji. He has become insolvent. So, buyer can come at the seller's place and can take the possession of the goods from whom? From official receiver or assignee of the seller. Buyer can come at the seller's place and he can get the possession of the goods from official receiver or assignee of the seller. શું થયું છે ભાઈ? કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ ઓફ સેલ થયો. यहाँ क्या हुआ है? कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल बन गया है. ओनरशिप जो है वो सेलर के पास से बायर के पास चली गई है, लेकिन अभी गुड्स की डिलीवरी नहीं हुई है, सेलर के पास ही पड़ा हुआ है गुड्स, और सेलर इंसॉल्वेंट हो जाता है, डिक्लेयर हो जाता है. तो सेलर का सब जो है मैनेजमेंट वो वहां कहां चला गया? ऑफिशियल रिसीवर और असाइनी अपॉइंटेड बाय गवर्नमेंट. तो बायर कैन कम to the seller's place and ask the official receiver or assignee appointed by government who is managing the task of the seller that you are required to hand over the goods to us because we are the legal owner of the goods, because the ownership has already been shifted before seller has been declared insolvent. So please kindly hand over the goods to us. Point 1. Point 2. Contract of sale takes place. Ownership of goods gets shifted from seller to buyer, and delivery is yet pending, and buyer becomes insolvent. Understand? Buyer becomes insolvent. Contract of sale takes place. Step 1. Ownership gets shifted from seller to buyer because the contract of sale was such a kind that ownership has been shifted from seller to buyer immediately, but delivery of goods has not been made by the seller to buyer, and buyer becomes insolvent. Buyer becomes insolvent. Then official receiver or assignee of buyer will go to seller and will take the possession of goods in his hand by saying that the insolvent buyer had already become the owner and we on behalf of him are entitled to claim the possession of goods from you, and sellers shall be liable to hand over the possession to the official receiver or assignee of the buyer because the ownership has already been shifted to buyer. That's all. 2 points. Once again, number 1. Point number 1. Point number 1. Contract of sale takes place. Contract of sale takes place. Ownership gets shifted along with contract of sale. Ownership gets shifted to buyer. Before giving delivery to buyer, seller becomes insolvent. Buyer can come to seller's place and can claim the goods from official receiver or assignee of the seller by arguing that I have already become owner of the goods before seller had become insolvent. And so I am the owner and you are supposed to hand over these goods to me. Please. Point 2. Contract of sale takes place, and along with contract of sale, the ownership of goods shifts from seller to buyer. Along with contract of sale, the ownership of goods shifts directly from seller to buyer, but goods have not yet been delivered by seller to buyer, and goods are in the possession of the seller, and buyer becomes insolvent before obtaining delivery. Buyer becomes insolvent. Buyer is declared insolvent. Then in that case, official receiver or assignee of buyer can contact the seller and can claim the possession of the goods by arguing that we are the owners as of this date. And so kindly hand over the goods to us, dear seller. And seller will be bound to hand over the goods to the buyer. ચલો આવો ભાઈ ચેટ રૂમ માં ને કયો મને આ પોઈન્ટ સમજાય છે બધાને આ પોઈન્ટ ક્લિયર થયો હવે તો હું પછી આગળ વધું everyone attending the meeting, there are 28 rather excluding me. તો ડ્રાઈવર સિવાયના 28 લોકો છો મને કયો જોઈએ ચલો આ પોઈન્ટ સમજાણો ભાઈ બધાને હા ના કરો ઓકે વેરી ગુડ. તો ફ્રેન્ડ્સ હવે છે ને આ મીટિંગ હું અહીંયા પૂરી કરું છું, અત્યારે એન્ડ કરું છું. એક નવી મીટિંગ લોન્ચ કરીને હું નવો પોઈન્ટ ક્લિયર કરું છું તમને, કારણ કે એનો એક અલગ વિડીયો પછી બનશે. તો અહીંયા સુધી અત્યારે રાખીને આ મીટિંગ બંધ કરું છું. એક નવી મીટિંગમાં હું તમને લઈ જાઉં છું. ક્યાંય જાતા જ નહીં, 2 જ મિનિટમાં તરત જ નવી મીટિંગ લોન્ચ થશે અને તરત આવી જાજો બધા, ક્યાંય ભાગતા નહીં. Friends, today's agenda is settled transfer of property in case of specific goods. When the property shall pass from seller to buyer if the subject matter of goods is specific goods, or if the type of goods is specific goods. Exactly when the property passes from seller to buyer. So that is today's agenda. So first of all, I would like to know from the class that what do we mean by the term specific goods? Can anyone elaborate the term specific goods? You can unmute yourself and answer. Yeah, chalo, कौन कैसे specific goods विषय? Anyone else? Fine, anyways, so specific goods means those goods which are agreed upon by seller and buyer exactly at the time when contract of sale takes place. That means goods are there in front of seller and buyer, both agree upon about the goods, and then such goods are specific goods. If I want to purchase iPhone X, I go to Pujara Telecom. I have seen various colors of iPhone X, and later on I have selected the pearl white iPhone X. That particular phone is kept on the table and the seller says that, sir, I would like to hand it over this to you. I asked that what is the final price. He quoted the price and I accepted. The moment contract takes place, at that time the iPhone XS of pearl white color was there in front of both of us. We agreed upon, we made a contract, we have agreed upon for the goods at the time of contract. Along with contract, simultaneously we agreed upon on the goods, we agreed upon the particular goods that we would like to purchase. Then in that case we can say that it's a specific goods, it's a specific goods, and that iPhone XS is nothing but a specific goods. Yeah, so specific goods means goods which are agreed upon, goods which are agreed upon by both the parties at the time when contract of sale takes place. At the time when contract of sale takes place, goods which are agreed upon by both the parties at the time when contract of sale takes place are specific goods. तो ई गुड्स जे છે ઈ કેવા બનશે? સ્પેસિફિક બનશે. તો આ વાત અહીંયા આપણે ધ્યાનમાં રાખીને ચાલીએ. Is that clear, friends? Are you getting Now let me go ahead. Now in case of specific goods, do remember one very particular thing, the transfer of property in case of specific goods, a very particular thing. I'm repeating, and I'm telling you very particular point, that when there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods, understand, when there is an unconditional contract for sale of specific goods in a deliverable state, then the property in goods shall pass from seller to buyer immediately along with the contract of sale. Point 1A. There are 3 points. First of all, have you got the idea? I hope that all of you have understood the specific goods. Now I tell you, when there is an unconditional contract for sale of specific goods in a deliverable state, when there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state, the ownership shifts from seller to buyer the moment contract takes place. The moment contract takes place, the ownership shifts. So if I move forward with the same example of iPhone XS, the moment Pujara Telecom person has quoted the price that, sir, the price is 89,000 and I have accepted the price. The moment I accept the price, the property, the ownership of iPhone XS shifts from Pujara Telecom to Jigar Popat. Why? Because it's a unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state. They don't need to do anything to deliver iPhone XS to me. It is available in a deliverable state. It's a specific goods. The contract is unconditional because whatever price that they have quoted, I have unconditionally accepted. So what does it mean? It becomes an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state. He can easily hand it over to me in a one particular bag. And so it is absolutely in a deliverable state. The contract is also unconditional. The goods are specific. So when there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state, the ownership gets shifted from seller to buyer the moment contract takes place. Say if you go to Bharat Bakery to purchase 2 sandwich bread packets, then as and when you asked him, he has selected 2 sandwich bread packets and he has put those 2 packets in front of you on the table. You have analyzed 2 packets and accepted that, okay, the quality is proper. Tell me the price. He said that the price is rupees 80 per packet and so you are supposed to pay 160. First of all, here the goods are agreed upon along with the contract of sale and so goods are specific, number one. He quoted the price 160. We have unconditionally accepted to pay that price. So it's an unconditional contract for sale of specific goods. And is it in a deliverable state? Both the bread packets are packed in one particular big bag and it has been made in a deliverable state. So here it's an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state. The moment the contract takes place, the ownership of bread packets shifts from Bharat Bakery to us. Then when we were returning, we have just descended the stairs of the Bharat Bakery. આપણે એના પગથિયા ઉતરા, and as and when we came on the floor, there was a puppy, there was a doggy, and doggy clinched 1 packet of bread from us. Who will bear the loss? Then in that case, we will have to bear the loss because ownership has already been shifted at the counter of Bharat Bakery. So we will have to bear the loss. So the first point, when there is a unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state, the ownership gets shifted from seller to buyer the moment contract takes place. Very, very important point. Now, I hope that all of you have got this point. Let's have some example of this point. Specifically, there are 2 examples and let's enjoy 2 examples one by one. B selects certain books in a bookshop. The price is to be settled. Okay, B એ અમુક book પસંદ કરી, price નક્કી કરવાની બાકી હતી. He arranges to take delivery of the books the next day through his servant and agrees to pay for the books on the 1st of the next month. Understand, the books have been fixed. Book, say for example, he has selected 3 books. The seller has quoted the price. The price was unconditionally accepted by B. B asked the seller that tomorrow my servant will come and will take the delivery and I'll pay the price on the first day of the next month. Understand here, even if the delivery has not been made or price has not been paid, the moment contract takes place, the ownership of goods shifts from seller, that is bookseller, to B. And here the same thing has happened because it was an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state. એને ત્રણ બુક પસંદ કરી ધ્રુવ દાદાની, સમુદ્રાંતિકે, અકુપાર અને તત્વમસી. આ ત્રણ બુક પસંદ કરીને આમ ડેસ્ક ઉપર મૂકી, કીધું આનું પ્રાઇસ શું હતું કે એકના 220 લેખે 660 રૂપિયા. બુક સેલરે કોટ કર્યા, બી એક્સેપ્ટ કરી લીધા, પણ બી એ કીધું કે હું ડિલિવરી કાલે સવારે લઈશ અને પ્રાઇસ જે છે એ આવતા મહિનાની 1લી તારીખે પે કરી. સેલર કે નો પ્રોબ્લેમ. Friends, it's an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state in which the delivery has not been made and the price has not been paid. But only today, when the contract takes place, the ownership shifts from seller to buyer. The ownership shifts from bookseller to B. And so B becomes the owner. Very, very important point. Even if B is not taking delivery at present, he will send his servant to take delivery. Even if B is not settling the price as of now, he is going to pay the price on the first day of the next month. Still, the ownership shifts at the time when the contract takes place. And what happened, understand, the books are destroyed by fire in the same evening. The property in books has passed to the buyer and he is bound to pay the price. So goods નાશ પામ્યો તો ખરેખર બાયરે પ્રાઇસ પે કરવી પડે, કારણ કે પ્રોપર્ટી એની હતી, એની પર્ટિક્યુલર બુક્સ. એટલે જેવો કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ થયો એ ભેગી બુકની પ્રોપર્ટી બી પાસે ચાલી ગઈ હતી. અને આવા કેસમાં જો રાત્રે આગ લાગે અને બુક નાશ પામે તો અહીંયા ખાલી એટલું જ હતું કે બી ની જે 3 બુક હતી સેલર બુક સેલરે સાચવેલી હતી, જેના માટે બી હજી પ્રાઇસ પે નહોતી કરી, તો બી ઇઝ બાઉન્ડ ટુ પે ધ પ્રાઇસ. આ પર્ટિક્યુલર કેસમાં લીગલી તો આમ જ થાય. ઘણી વખત પછી એમાં સેલર બાયર એવું નક્કી કરી શકે કે પ્રોપર્ટી ભલે પાસ ઓન થઈ ગઈ પણ ગુડ્સ જો સેલરના કબજામાં હોય ત્યાં સુધી સેલર રિસ્ક બેર કરે અને પછી બાયરના કબજામાં આવે પછી જ રિસ્ક બાયર બેર કરે. એવું એગ્રીમેન્ટ સ્પેસિફિકલી જો સેલર અને બાયર કરે તો એ એગ્રીમેન્ટ જે છે એ ઓવરરાઇડ કરશે લીગલ પ્રોવિઝનને, કારણ કે સેલ ઓફ ગુડ્સ ઇઝ અ કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ એન્ડ કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ ઇઝ અ પ્રાઇવેટ લો. તો પ્રાઇવેટલી એ લોકો કોઈ પણ ટર્મ્સ એન્ડ કન્ડિશન સેટલ કરી શકે. બટ વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ એન્ડ વેરી ગુડ એક્ઝામ્પલ. Rather, I think in this example, you will learn one another thing, that ownership has nothing to do with delivery of goods and price, payment of price. Delivery of goods may be postponed, payment of price may be postponed, but ownership gets shifted as per the rule of law. And rule of law says that where there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state, the ownership gets shifted from seller to buyer the moment contract takes place. તો 1 એપ્રિલે સાંજે 8 વાગે બી બુક સેલરની શોપ ઉપર ગયો પ્રવીણ પુસ્તક ભંડારમાં, અને ત્યાં એને સમુદ્રાંતિ કે અકુપાર ને તત્વમસી 3 બુક છૂટી મૂકી અને એની પ્રાઇસ પૂછી. ઓલાએ પ્રાઇસ કીધી તો કે ડન. તો ત્યારે કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ થઈ ગયો. ઇટ વોઝ અનકન્ડિશનલ કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ ઓફ સેલ ઓફ સ્પેસિફિક ગુડ્સ ઇન અ ડિલિવરેબલ સ્ટેટ. બી વારંવાર ત્યાંથી ગુડ્સ લેતો હતો, એટલે આ લોકોએ કીધું કે લેતા જ જાવ. તો કે કાંઈ મારે અત્યારે નથી, હું અત્યારે એક જગ્યાએ ફંક્શનમાં જાઉં છું, એટલે મારે હારે ફેરવવી પડશે, મારો માણસ કાલે આવીને લઈ જશે. અને હું પ્રાઇસ કે કાકા આવતા મહિનાની 1લી તારીખ, આપણે દર વખતે કરી છે ને પે કરી દીધી. અરે કોઈ વાંધો નહીં, તમ તારે નિરાતે. તો આ કેસમાં ફ્રેન્ડ્સ 1લી તારીખે રાત્રે 8 વાગે કોન્ટ્રાક્ટો થઈ ગયો અને ઓનરશિપ બી પાસે વહી ગઈ. હવે રાત્રે પ્રવીણ પુસ્તક ભંડારમાં આગ લાગી ગઈ, 3 બુક નાશ પામી, તો બી એની પ્રાઇસ પે કરવી પડે. અહીંયા સૌથી વધુ મહત્વનો પોઈન્ટ તમે સમજો છો કે ઓનરશિપ શિફ્ટ થઈ જાય એ જરૂરી છે, પ્રાઇસ પે થઈ હોય કે ન થઈ હોય. અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ? ડિલિવરી મળી હોય કે અપાણી હોય કે ન અપાણી હોય, ઓનરશિપ ને આની આરે કઈ લાગે વળગે નહીં. ઓનરશિપ ને પેમેન્ટ ઓફ પ્રાઇસ કે ડિલિવરી ઓફ ગુડ્સ આરે કોઈ કન્સર્ન નથી. આ એક બહુ જ મોટું લેસન આ એક્ઝામ્પલ આપણને સમજાવે છે. એક્ઝામ્પલ 2. S sells to B a horse which is to be delivered to B the next week. B is to pay the price on delivery. B asks his servant to keep the horse separate from the other horses. The horse dies before it is delivered and paid for. The property in the horse has passed to B and he must bear the loss. B S પાસે આવ્યો, એક ઘોડો એને નક્કી કર્યો કે આ ભૂખરો ઘોડો જ મારે લેવો છે. તો એનો મતલબ કે ઘોડો સ્પેસિફિક બની ગયો. એને કીધું કે હું તને ડિલિવરી વખતે પ્રાઇસ પે કરીશ, પણ હું આવતા વીકમાં ડિલિવરી લઈશ. એ બધું ગમે તે હોય, ઓનરશિપ ઓલરેડી એસ માંથી બી માં વહી ગઈ હતી અને વચ્ચે એ ઘોડો મૃત્યુ પામ્યો, તો લોસ બી જ બેર કરશે. એનો મતલબ વેર there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state, the ownership gets shifted from seller to buyer the moment contract takes place. This point is over, friends. Now let's take another point. But if, one another point is different point, that if there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods, but goods are not in a deliverable state, then ownership will not get shifted along with the contract, but ownership shall get shifted as and when the goods are put in a deliverable state. When there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods not in a deliverable state, the ownership shall get shifted from seller to buyer at the time, not at the time when the contract takes place in a usual way, but it will get shifted from seller to buyer at the time when goods are put in a deliverable state. When there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods not in a deliverable state, the ownership gets shifted from seller to buyer the moment goods are put in a deliverable state. Let us have exactly the example, and you will get the things immediately. This example A is fabulous and happened example. And let us analyze this example. There was a contract for sale of timber from oak trees. એક પ્રકારનું લાકડું મળે છે એક ઝાડમાંથી અને ઈ એટલા માટે ઝાડ વેચવાનો કરાર છે. હવે તમને ખબર છે goods means every kind of movable property other than actionable claim and money, but including stock and shares, growing crop and grass and everything attached to or forming part of earth which can be severed. અને એટલા માટે oak tree goods તો બનશે. There was a contract for sale of timber from oak trees. The buyer marked out the selected part of trees. હવે એમાં શું થયું કે ટ્રીમાં ઝાડ ઉગેલું હોય તો ઘણી બધી ડાળીઓ અને એના પાંદડાની ફૂટી નીકળાવે. આપણે જરૂર તો ખાલી થડની જ હોય. એટલે બાયરે સે ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ 50 ટ્રી લીધા તો 50 ટ્રીના એને ટીક મારી દીધું કે આ 50 ટ્રી, એટલે એ સ્પેસિફિક તો બની ગયા આ 50. પણ અત્યારે હજી જમીનારે જડાયેલા છે અને એને કીધું કે આ બાકીની ડાળી ને પાંદડા મને કાઢી દો. એટલે બાયરે ખાલી સિલેક્ટ શું કર્યું એનું થડ. So buyer marked out the selected part of the tree which is third. આપણે જેને third કહીએ છીએ. According to the usage of trade, the seller had to remove the rejected portion from the trees. હવે સેલરે ડાળી ડાખડા એમાંથી કાઢવાના હતા. Understand? So it's an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods, but goods are not in a deliverable state. Goods deliverable state માં ક્યારે આવે? જ્યારે સેલર આ ડાળી ડાળખા કાઢી, થડને જુદા કરી, ઝાડને કાપી અને થડને રોલર ઉપર બધા ગોઠવી દે 50-50 સ્થળને, ત્યારે એ ડિલિવરેબલ સ્ટેટમાં આવે. According to the usage of trade, the seller had to remove rejected portion from the trees, but before he could do, he became bankrupt. Else the buyer could not take away the selected portion, as the property in the goods had not passed to him until the seller has severed એટલે separated. Until the seller has separated the rejected portion, the goods could not be said to be in a deliverable state. Ackerman versus Morrissey. Very, very important point here. The example of the fact that when there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods in a deliverable state, the property in goods passes from seller to buyer immediately along with contract. But when there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods not in a deliverable state, the property in goods passes from seller to buyer only at the moment when the goods are put in a deliverable state. તો અહીંયા સેલરે શું કરવાનું હતું? એનો રિજેક્ટેડ પોર્શન છૂટો પાડી અને ખરેખર તો એને ઈ થડને પણ છૂટું પાડી અને તૈયાર રાખવાના હતા 50 થડને, ત્યારે ઈ ડિલિવરેબલ સ્ટેટમાં આવે. પણ એવું કરે ઈ પહેલા સેલર બેંકરપ્ટ બની ગયો. તો બાયર જે છે ઈ સેલરના ઓફિશિયલ રિસીવર કે અસાઇની પાસેથી ગુડ્સની પ્રોપર્ટી લઈ શક્યો નહીં, કારણ કે લીગલી પ્રોપર્ટી બાયર ઉપર શિફ્ટ થઈ નહોતી. આજે જે આપણે પોઈન્ટ જોયો એના સિક્વન્સમાં તમે આ ભણો તો બહુ મજા આવશે તમને, કે પ્રોપર્ટી પાસ ઓન નહોતી થઈ એટલે બાયર સેલરના ઓફિશિયલ રિસીવર કે અસાઇની પાસેથી એ ગુડ્સની ડિલિવરી મેળવી શક્યો નહીં. ચલો એક અનધર એક્ઝામ્પલ છે એ જોઈએ. આ છે એક્ઝામ્પલ કોનું? when there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods not in a deliverable state, then ownership shifts from seller to buyer only at the time when the goods are put in a deliverable state. When there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods not in a deliverable state, the ownership gets shifted from seller to buyer not along with the contract of sale, but at the time when the goods are put in a deliverable state. When there is an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods not in a deliverable state, then the ownership does not shift from seller to buyer along with contract of sale, but ownership shifts from seller to buyer only at the time when the goods are put in a deliverable state. Example 2. There was a contract for sale of a machine weighing 30 tons. embedded in a concrete floor. એક મોટું સિમેન્ટ કોન્ક્રીટનો ઓટો બનાવીને એમાં 30 ટનનું મશીન જડી દીધું હતું આખું. એટલે કે મશીનના પાયા બાયા બધા ચણી લીધા હતા. 30 ટનનો ઓલા 30 ટનનું મશીન હતું, એક જંગી ઓટો બનાવી અને મશીનના પાયા એમાં જડી દીધા બધા. પાર્ટ ઓફ મશીન. હવે એને વેચ્યું મશીનને વેચ્યું તો અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ મશીન સ્પેસિફિક છે, એક જ છે. કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ ઓફ સેલ થયો. સેલરે બાયરને કીધું કે આ મશીન હું તને 3 કરોડમાં વેચું છું. બાયરે ઓફર એક્સેપ્ટ કરી, એટલે અનકન્ડિશનલ કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ ઓફ સેલ. ગુડ્સ કેવો સ્પેસિફિક, કારણ કે એક જ મશીન છે. પણ જ્યાં સુધી મશીનને ઓટામાંથી છૂટું ન પાડો ત્યાં સુધી મશીન ડિલિવરેબલ સ્ટેટમાં તો ન હોય. કારણ કે ત્યાં તો હનુમાનજી આવીને, જેમ હનુમાનજીએ દ્રોણાગીરી પર્વત ઉપરથી આખો પર્વત સંજીવનીનો ગઈકાલે ઉપાડી લીધો, એવું તો અહીંયા થવાનું નથી કે આખા ઓટા સહિતનું લઈ જાય કોઈ. એ તો હવે કોઈ પોસિબલ નથી. અને એટલા માટે ઓટામાંથી મશીનને છૂટું પાડવાનું સેલરને કરવાનું હતું. જો એ સેલર ઓટામાંથી મશીનને છૂટું પાડે તો એ મશીન ડિલિવરેબલ સ્ટેટમાં આવે. અને ડિલિવરેબલ સ્ટેટમાં આવે ત્યારે એની પ્રોપર્ટી સેલરમાંથી બાયરમાં જાય. પણ એ લોકો જ્યારે ઓટામાંથી છૂટા પાડવાની પ્રોસેસ કરતા હતા ત્યારે મશીનનો એક ભાગ આખો ડિસ્ટ્રોય થઈ ગયો. A part of machine was destroyed while being removed. Removed means when they were trying to remove it from the concrete base. Hence the buyer was entitled to refuse. Buyer was entitled to refuse to take the machine as it was not in a deliverable state. તો buyer આની પ્રાઇસ પે કરવા બંધાયેલો નથી, કારણ કે પ્રોપર્ટી હજી શિફ્ટ થઈ નહોતી. ભાઈ કોઈક બારની સ્ટુડન્ટ અત્યારે એટેન્ડ કરે છે અને કોઈ પ્લીઝ ભાઈ આઈડી, મીટિંગ આઈડી અને પાસવર્ડ should not be shared with any outsiders. એનો વાંધો નથી, આ આપણી પિપ્સ સીએ ચેનલ છે જ, એમાં એ લોકો રેકોર્ડેડ જોઈ જ શકે છે. તો એટલું કરો ખાલી, એટલી એક ઓલી. બાકી આ જ્ઞાન જ બાટી છે આપણે, કોઈ વાંધો નથી. આપણને કોઈ કદાચ આવીને ભણે છે તો બરોબર, પણ અહીંયા જણાવો થોડું અને પછી કરો, બરોબર. અને કોઈ આપણા જે સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ છે ઈ ડોન્ટ ડુ ધેટ એક્ટિવિટી, because there is a channel which has been made and on that channel the recorded lectures are freely available for all. તો ગમે ત્યારે, બરોબર ને, ગમે ત્યારે તમે ઈ રેકોર્ડેડ ચેનલની લિંક લ્યો ને એમાં જોઈ શકો. છતાંય કઈ ક્વેરીઝ હોય તો હલો થ્રુ યોર ફ્રેન્ડ યુ કેન આસ્ક ધ ક્વેરી, બરોબર. એવું કોઈ આમાં ઓલું છે નહીં ભાઈ, કોઈ આમાં કોઈ કંટ્રોલ નથી. This is only we have started this activity only to provide you coaching in this difficult situation of lockdown. So enjoy, we don't have any issue, but at the same time you should inform. Anyways, ચલો કઈ વાંધો નહીં, કન્ટિન્યુ. હવે જો હવે એક વસ્તુ છે અહીંયા, અને લાસ્ટ પોઈન્ટ હવે આપણે લઈએ છીએ. તો આઈ હોપ ધેટ ઓલ ઓફ યુ હેવ ગોટ ધીસ આઈડિયા. એન્ડ ધ લાસ્ટ પોઈન્ટ which I would like to discuss today is the final point which we can consider over here. And this point says that when the price of goods is to be ascertained by weighing, etc. Understand? Very, very important. Sometimes what happens, there is an unconditional contract of sale of a specific goods, but some formalities are yet to be fulfilled. And so the property in goods shall not pass from seller to buyer as and when the contract takes place, but property in goods shall pass on from seller to buyer at the time when such formalities are fulfilled. The unfulfilled formalities are fulfilled. At that time only the ascertainment of price may take place, and as a result at that time only the contract of sale will allow the seller to pass the property to the buyer. So it's an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods, but some formalities are yet to be fulfilled. Then the property in goods shall pass from seller to buyer the moment formalities are being fulfilled. Say for example, on 31st March, Mansukh Suwagia enters into the contract with Kishore Biyani by saying that whatever the quantity of wheat produce that I have got from my farm, I am ready to sell it to you. whatever quantity of wheat produce, okay, whatever the quantity of produce of wheat, ghau, I have taken and I have produced from my farm or in my farm, I am selling it to you for rupees 10 lakhs. Now it's an unconditional contract of sale of specific goods, but they have not yet weighed the actual quantity of wheat. And so the moment they will first of all make the wheat ready and packed in a bale, and then they will take the weight, then they will analyze the weight. The moment the weighing process gets over, the goods, the property in goods shall pass from seller to buyer. Let me revise this example to some extent, that Mansukh Suwagia has entered into a contract with Kishore Biyani that I am selling, as of now I am ready to sell the whole produce of wheat I have taken in my farm to you on the basis of rupees 20,000 per ton. It's the offer. Offer is unconditionally accepted by Kishore Bhai. Now the goods are specific, see, because the total quantity of wheat that the wheat produce taken by Mansukh Bhai, that total quantity was there in front of both of them. So goods were specific. But the price has been determined on the basis of 20,000 per ton, and that's why weighing was extremely necessary. And so they have first of all packed all those wheat bales, all those wheat in the bales, and they have made the wheat bales ready. And later on, the weighing process was over, and the exact weight of the wheat quantity has been determined, that the final weight of that particular quantity of wheat is, say, 180 tons. Now 20,000 rupees per ton is the price, and so the final price will be determined. So here analyze that there was an unconditional contract of sale which has already taken place, but weighing process of wheat was pending. The moment the weighing process gets over, the property shifts from seller to buyer, not before that. So here it's extremely important to pack the wheats in the bale, and finally to get the weight of the wheat bales. As and when the weight of the wheat bales process gets over, the property in goods shifts from seller to buyer. શું કીધું એને કે ભાઈ મનસુખભાઈ સુવાગીએ કીધું કે આપડા જો અત્યારે અહીંયા તમારી સામે છે, આટલા ઘઉં પડ્યા છે, 3 ઢગલી ઘઉં છે ને વેચવાના, એટલે 3 ઢગલી આખા મોટા મોટા પર્વત જેવી 3 ઢગલી હતી, તો 3 ઢગલી કે વેચવી છે 1 ટનના 20,000 રૂપિયા. બોલો લેવી છે, જોઈ લ્યો, સોનેરી ટુકડા ટના ટની ગીરના, જામકા ગીરના, આવો દાણો ક્યાંય મળે નહીં તમને, ટબ્બા જેવો દાણો. તો મનસુખભાઈ બહુ ઇમ્પ્રેસ થઈ ગયા, યાલો લીધી 3 ઢગલી, 20,000 રૂપિયા ટન. જો કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ થઈ ગયો, અનકન્ડિશનલ કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ ઓફ સ્પેસિફિક ગુડ્સ કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ થઈ ગયો, પણ પ્રોપર્ટી હજી પાસ ઓન નહીં થાય. હવે શું કરશે કે આવતીકાલે કે આવો અને અત્યારે હું ગુણીમાં ભરાવી રાખું છું, ટ્રકમાં ચડાવી દઉં, સીધા સોરઠિયા વેબ્રિજે મળો, એટલે ન્યાય કે આનું વજન થઈ જાય ને પ્રાઇસ નક્કી થઈ જાય. જેવું સોરઠિયા વેબ્રિજ એનું વજન નક્કી થયું ને ફ્રેન્ડ્સ, ત્યારે પ્રોપર્ટી મનસુખભાઈ સુવાગિયામાંથી કિશોર બિયાની પાસે જશે, એ પહેલા નહીં. When the price of goods is to be ascertained by weighing, કારણ કે ત્યારે જ ફાઇનલ આખા કોન્ટ્રાક્ટની પ્રાઇસ નક્કી થશે, કે ભાઈ ત્યારે ખબર પડી કે 180 ટન ઘઉં કે એને મલ્ટીપ્લાઈડ બાય 20,000 રૂપિયા કર્યા, એટલે એને ખ્યાલ આવ્યો કે 180 મલ્ટીપ્લાઈડ બાય 20,000, અને એટલા માટે 36 lakhs એની પ્રાઇસ નક્કી થઈ. તો જેવું વેઇંગ થયું અને 180 ટન્સની ચિઠ્ઠી મળી સોરઠિયા વેબ્રિજમાંથી અને પ્રાઇસ ફાઇનલાઇઝ થઈ, એટલે તરત જ પ્રોપર્ટી પાસ ઓન થશે. જ્યારે કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ તો ગઈકાલે રાતે જ થઈ ગયો છે, પ્રીવિયસ ડે નાઇટ થઈ ગયો છે, પણ પ્રોપર્ટી શિફ્ટ મોર્નિંગમાં થશે, જ્યારે વેબ્રિજમાં એનું વેઇંગ અને ફાઇનલ પ્રાઇસ ડિટર્મિનેશન થશે ત્યારે. So that's it for the day, friends. I hope that all of you have enjoyed today's talk, and I'll have to put 2-3 videos online that will be done by tomorrow's morning. And enjoy, all of you, and take very good care of yourself, and don't go outside without putting on mask, and keep on washing your hand at a regular interval. So good night to all of you. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jinendra, Jai Siyaram, Salam Walaikum, Jai Vishwakarma. આવજો બધા. આજની આઈ હોપ કે તમને ટોક જે છે એ સમજાણી હશે બરોબર. કાંઈ પણ ક્લિયર ન થયું હોય, કાંઈ પણ ન સમજાણું હોય, તો you can always call me on my phone and you can raise the query. We will have a detailed discussion on every point. Don't worry about that. But keep on solving. And today I already sent all of you ધ ફાઇલ ઓફ સોગા, પીડીએફ તમને સોગાની મેં ઓલરેડી આજે આપી દીધી છે. તો હવે એ બધી બહુ આમ તમે જુઓ ને તો બધી આપણી કોન્ફિડેન્શિયલ વસ્તુઓ છે. આખું મટીરિયલ જે છે એ બધું હું તમને અત્યારે આપી દઉં છું. તો આપો બધાને, તમારા મિત્રોને એની યારે શેર કરો, કોઈ વાંધો નથી, આ જ્ઞાન જ છે. પણ થોડુંક અહીંયા પૂછી લેવું તમારે કે સર આવું છે કોઈ, તો મારી ફ્રેન્ડ છે તો એને હું એન્ટ્રી આપું, બરોબર? એટલું એક કરવું જોઈએ, એટલી મારી અપેક્ષા છે. બાકી આમાં કઈ ઓલું છે નહીં. સી ઇટ્સ લાઈક વોટ વી કોલ એ વિદ્યાદાન શ્રેષ્ઠ દાન છે. તો મને એવી તક મળતી હોય તો મને કોઈ વાંધો નથી, પણ આવું જયારે કરો ત્યારે જરાક તમે તમારા ફ્રેન્ડ્સને શેર કરો તો અમને કયો જરાક કે સર આ રીતે છે, તો હું ક્યારેય કોઈને ના નથી પાડતો, બરોબર? અહીંયા આપણે આજે પૂરું કરીએ, અને પર્ટિક્યુલરલી જે કાંઈ પણ ક્વેરીઝ હોય, ક્વેશ્ચન્સ હોય લેજો. કાલનો આપણો એજન્ડા નીચે દેખાય છે, સેક્શન 23 છે, ટ્રાન્સફર ઓફ પ્રોપર્ટી ઇન કેસ ઓફ અનઅસર્ટેન ગુડ્સ. સો લેટ મી કન્ક્લુડ ધીસ મીટિંગ એઝ ઓફ નાઉ. અત્યારે આ મીટિંગ જે છે અહીંયા હું પૂરી કરું છું. આવજો બધા.